All right, so today on the channel, we're talking about 5 dual sport accessories that I will no longer ride without. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so after some trial and error and a year of riding under my belt, these are the top 5 items that made my life easier. Now, I wanted to make this video because a couple weeks ago, I made a video talking about my top 5 regrets when it comes to purchasing things for dual sport motorcycle riding. And I'll add a card to that there, and I'll add one to the end of the video so you can also watch it. So stick around for that. All right, so we're going to start here with the first one. And I mean, it's one I didn't pick up right away, but it's one that I regret, not picking up right away. That is body armor. So this is a specific top made by Thor, and it was the cheapest body armor I could find. And the reason, I can hear the squishiness. I'll try not to squish it anymore. The reason I really enjoyed this body armor specifically was because it wasn't built into like a jacket. This goes underneath your shirt or your jersey or your jacket or whatever, and it has the protection. Right now it doesn't have any padding in it, which is also kind of a nice feature because you can pull it out and you can wash it, and then, well, not the padding, but you wash the shirt and then you put the padding back in to the shirt itself. I mean, it's got padding for elbows. This is the big boy. This protects your back, chest protector, and then you have these shoulder pads, which, elbows and shoulders, everything. I broke ribs. I probably wouldn't have broke those ribs if I had a chest protector on. These things aren't going to solve all your problems. If you go out and crash bad enough, you're going to hurt yourself. But after I bought this, it prevented a lot of aches and pains. You don't feel it like you would some huge chunk of protection, and you really can't even tell, which is great. I'll post a link to this one. This one I did buy from Fortnite. I can't remember it specifically how much. I do remember it was significantly, that's the word I'm looking for. It was significantly cheaper than other body armor kits. So check that out. I'll put the link in the description. All right, so before we move on to the next video, if you're enjoying this content and you like what you see, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. So number 2 on the list, this is the Garmin Zumo XT2 GPS unit. Now, I'm not saying that you need this specific GPS, and honestly, I'm coming from a cycling world, and I have found that my Garmin head unit for my adventure cycling is better adapted to that than this is adapted to adventure motorcycling. And maybe I just haven't been able to work with the system well enough. Maybe I just haven't learned it good enough yet, but I don't really feel like somebody should have to pick something up and spend months trying to figure it out. It's not as intuitive as I would like it to be, but it does the job, and it allows me to get to point A to B, create some routes, put them on here so that when we're out there, we don't get lost. When you're just riding trails around home, not a huge deal to need a GPS, but for me personally, one of my favorite ways to ride is to plan a route that I don't know if it's actually going to be able to be possible, like blowing through a river, or like connecting one area that we ride with another area of riding through some remote sketchy trails. I plan that at home and then I put it onto the GPS. So the GPS system needs to work. It has, but it's kind of been a little bit of a pain in my ass. So I'm not saying you have to go out and buy this specific Garmin GPS unit, but I would highly recommend, if you're going to do that style of adventure riding, that you go out and pick yourself a reliable GPS so you know where you are and that you can map out those routes and get to where you want to go and also get home safely. Okay, so number 3, let me just see what I'm missing. I'm missing it here. It's because it's a little one. It's a little accessory. This number 3, I've used one of these, and I will continue to use one of these until technology in cell phones or something like that. I know there's Starlink now that you can pack around with you, but I don't think there's a small enough Starlink, and subscriptions are still relatively expensive. The Garmin InReach Mini 2, and I will say that at this point of this channel, I have no sponsorships whatsoever. No ambassador programs, nothing. In my opinion, right now, the Garmin InReach is money. It gives me constant peace of mind. It's never failed me. It does what it's supposed to do, and I love that about it. It doesn't get in your way. And I think that's a big part of gear, gear like this that's supposed to make your life easier. I don't like if at any point gear gets in the way of the experience. It should do exactly what it's supposed to do when it's supposed to do it without you having to mess around with it at all. And I rarely come across something that just works. And for me, the InReach has always worked. Another cool thing about this is, look, I just fired this thing up I haven't turned this thing on in probably over a month, and it has 97% battery life. I mean, if that's not cool, and if that's not good tech, I don't know what is. I know Garmin's, you can dog on Garmin for a lot of things, including that GPS unit that I just showed you guys. But this is a win. You got to have something like this. There's my plug for Garmin, the one and only I'll probably ever give them. Okay, so number 4 and number 5 kind of work together. I mean, they're completely different entities. You don't need one without the other, but I mean, okay, let me just get into it. So number 4 is a proper adventure style motorcycle helmet. This is something you need a helmet, but you don't need this type of helmet. But without it, oh God, it's just a pain. It's a nightmare. I did my first long day trip on the bike where I went on the highways and I had just your regular moto helmet with goggles. Being new to this, I didn't really know any better. But once I got this helmet, once I got an adventure helmet and I went for a long ride on the highway, up to highway speeds, I thought to myself, what the hell was I doing wearing that helmet? Like I'm sure it damaged my hearing permanently. So this is an adventure helmet. This is LS2. This is the Explorer. Again, not plugging any particular helmet model or brand. It's just a style. Okay, you got yourself a visor. You have the padding on the bottom that allows for that noise reduction and a level of comfort that you wouldn't get with your traditional motocross helmet. This specific model has like a little switchy flippy for sunglasses type situation, as you can see. Where it flips down, but I find it doesn't flip down enough, and it's like half of a visor, half of a pair of sunglasses. And I mean, you can look at the dust on it. I mean, it's dusty. I never use it. I never use that feature because well, it sucks. I'm sure there's other helmets out there that are doing it, but this isn't. I love this helmet. It has functioned so well for me and at a moderate price. I think this comes in at about $500. You need a helmet like this for big, long trips. I would highly recommend it. Okay, so that brings me to the last item, which is actually attached to the helmet itself, and that is my communication systems. I bought into the Cardo ecosystem. It's definitely a luxury. You do not need comms. Let me just attach it here. All right, so this is it. So this is your Cardo PackTalk Neo. They have a variety of models in their lineup, this being one of them. So the reason we went with these is because they have a mesh system. It's kind of separate from Bluetooth. That allows a group of users to connect, enabling you to have like a large group chat essentially when you're riding. The other lower models below the Neo, you are only able to talk to one other person. So my buddy Matt actually went and bought the lower models initially, and then when we started riding in a larger group, he had to go out and upgrade and get a different one. Again, I'm not going to plug any particular brand here, but I mean, a communication systems period is just makes life more fun when you're riding with buddies. And I mean, safer too if someone were to crash and you were still in range. On a number of occasions, Matt checks on me and says, "Hey man, you still doing okay back there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just slow ass, but I'm good." So it's a huge benefit. And then, being able to be like, let's stop, take a break, let's stop, have a drink. Just a nice little thing to have to make life a little bit easier on the trail. I'd highly recommend it. All right, so now that you've seen my top 5 choices for dual sport motorcycle accessory purchases, why don't you check out my top 5 regrets for my first year of riding dual sport motorcycles? And I'll see you guys in the next video.